Hi guys, this is a training about Forex Maths. This is gonna be a little bit more advanced than the training that you saw before. We're gonna talk about several things. We're gonna talk about margin, pip value, notional volume, leverage, effective leverage, rollover, and pricing. So the first thing I want to talk about is margin, or MMR. MMR stands for minimum margin requirement. Now, we actually have on our website, let me find it here. If you go to the FXCM website, there is a very nice section about margin. It's leverage and margin here under trading, and it basically explains how margin works. So we're going to go through it, and then we're going to do some examples. So the most important thing that you need to understand is that margin is not a payment that the client does, right? It's not a cost. Margin is just an amount that the broker takes aside to allow the client to trade the full amount. For example, let's say you want to buy a house, and the house costs $500,000. You don't have $500,000. You only have $100,000. So what you would do is you would go to the bank and you would get a mortgage, right? So you would put down your 100,000. The bank would loan you 400,000, and then you would be able to purchase that house for 500,000, and you would own the bank for 100,000. Effectively, here your margin would be 100,000. So your capital, the amount of money that you put down, is only 100,000, but the house that you live in is worth 500,000. That's margin, right? It's not money that you're paying the bank. It's just money that you put aside to control that property. If you decide to sell the property afterwards, you're gonna get that 100,000 back. It doesn't go to the bank. With us, it's the same. So when you trade with FXCM, your trades are executed using borrowed money. For example, 30-to-1 leverage on major pair like GBP/USD allows you to trade with £10,000 in the market by setting aside only 334 as a security deposit. So all you need to do if you want to trade 10,000 is to deposit £334. This is what 30-to-1 leverage is. So your £300 are controlling £10,000. Okay? We have this document, the MMR document, that tells you what the minimum margin requirements, or MMR, are for every single instrument. So this is in USD, this is in Euro, this is in Pound. So let's go to Euro. This is the amount of money that I need to trade the smallest trade size in anything that FXCM offers. So if I want to trade 1K Euro USD, or 1 micro lot, or 1,000 units, whatever you want to say it, it's the same thing, I need to put $43.29. So I put 43.29 FXCM. Let's do the calculation. So 1000 minus 43.29. So I put 43.29. FXCM loans me 956, and I'm trading 1000. That's the reason why FXCM exists. That's the reason why brokers like FXCM exist, so that you can trade with margin. If margin didn't exist, if there was no leverage, then you can just go, if you want to trade the euro dollar, you would just go and buy euros in the exchange or in the bank. But with FXCM, you can buy a lot more using leverage. Now, leverage and margin are exactly the same thing. They're just two different sides of the coin. So margin, as we said, is the amount of money that you have to put aside to control an asset or a financial instrument, and leverage is just the ratio between the asset and the margin. That sounds a bit complicated, but it's actually fairly simple. Again, going back to the example with the house, if you put $100,000 as margin and you buy a house that's $500,000, the ratio there is 5-to-1. So for every dollar that you have, you're controlling $5 worth of house. Your leverage is 5-to-1. It's literally that simple. The leverage is how much each of your dollars is worth. So 30-to-1 means that for every dollar that you have, you can buy up to $30 worth of product. If you have 400-to-1 leverage, That means that for every dollar that you have, you can buy up to $400 worth of product. Right, so that's what margin is. Usually this stays like this, so we don't make changes to these margins on a day-to-day basis. We do changes on a monthly basis sometimes. As you can see, we increase the margin of CHF JPY by a little bit. We increase the margin of all of these instruments. So every month we go and we make updates. We might increase or reduce the margin, but most of them stay the same month over month.